Hello everyone, my name is Amit Agarwal and I have done a couple of certificates from EC Council, the first being CHNC, and then I did my CH practical, and hence I got my CH master from EC Council. And I also was in the top 10, world top 10 for CH master in April 2021. After that I did my CHFI certification, and finally recently I have done my CPENT, and I got my LPT master along with the CPENT, and I was the first one to get the compo certification with CPENT and LPT master. I had done my BE in electrical in back in 1999. Although I was an electrical student, I was very interested in computer science since that time, since I had computers in my school as well from class 8th, and I spent a lot of time in my engineering also to understand how OSs work, how computers work, and I was really interested to go deep down into how computers work. And after that I have been in telecom industry for last whatever number of years, since 1999, and I have always been interested in how computers work and get into more details of how things work, and have been in security also a little bit to understand how various security concepts work, and what are the various methodologies that hackers can use to get into our systems, and have been on also trying to harden the systems that we work on. It's been a very nice journey, and I was very happy to get my CPENT and LPT recently. I started my cybersecurity journey about 3 years back when I started playing around with Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, and a few other platforms like that. I started watching some videos on YouTube to understand how hacking works. I had no idea at that time what hacking is and how to do various things in hacking, and I was just getting started. So a lot of YouTube videos from John Hammond and IPSec and guys like him helped me understand what is basically hacking. And then I started looking at EC Council courses, and I was very interested in them. So about a year back I started with CHNC, and then I went ahead with CH practical, and I got CH master because of this. And after that I went ahead and did my CHFI from EC Council, and after CHFI I have done my CPENT and LPT master from EC Council. So basically I was doing a lot of Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, and then I did my CH, and then I realized that all these platforms were actually not giving me the practical knowledge that I required, and these were just like CTS, where someone would assume some vulnerability and then I have to just find it out, and it's more like solving puzzles rather than really looking at how practical networks would behave. And similarly, when you do these boxes, it's not really a network, and even if you go for some online ranges, they are generally with a very flat network. There are basically no firewalls or any of those things in place, which basically makes them very CTF like, and a very lab environment, and not really a real life environment where you would find a lot of firewalls and IDS, IPS and whatnot, right? You will even find host based firewall, and probably even antiviruses and so on and so forth. So when I was looking for something really practical, I found in EC Council website about CPENT, and when I heard about it and when I looked at the table of contents and the course contents, it was really amazing, and it really gave me the feeling that it would teach me about the practical aspects of being in cybersecurity. So when I started CPENT, I already had some idea of what is hacking and what is ethical hacking, and few of the tools because I had also done my CEH and CH practical. So I had definitely practiced some of the tools there. But CPNT was a completely different experience, and I had to spend a lot of time for really studying on the tools, tricks, and how to use various arguments for various tools. For example, if you are scanning through a firewall using Nmap, then there are various arguments that you have to use and understand what is happening behind the scenes, right? We have to run Wireshark and understand what response is indicating what inside the network. So I nearly took about 3 to 4 months for preparing for my CPNT exam, and I had a very busy day job, so I had to mostly spend after hours in studying for my exam. And the iLabs, the CPENT deep dive by Kevin Cardwell, which was done some time back, was very helpful. And then the cyber range itself was also very useful when preparing for my CPENT exam. And not to forget about it, the course content of the CPNT itself is amazing, but you really need to spend a lot of time. You have to understand the various scripting languages that they are talking about, and you have to practice all the techniques and methods that have been talked about in the material. So I had been practicing on a lot of TryAcme and HTTP boxes, and otherwise also Vulnerable Hub and other places. So I was quite comfortable in doing pen testing for web application, but CPNT is not like just another CTF, right? So it was very difficult initially to understand how to understand the network, how to understand the topology of the network, what elements are sitting in the network, how to identify the firewalls, and so on and so forth. But the study material and iLabs practice helped me to ensure that I understand those concepts, and I was able to understand what kind of firewall is acting and what kind of firewalls I'm dealing with, and hence get into it. But the most difficult part for me probably in CPNT was the binary exploitation and the OT network, along with the IoT stuff that was there in the CPNT. Mostly because there are very few scarce online resources which can talk about this, and there's really no material available on the internet about these. So there are a lot of good things about CPNT, and the first one to begin with is the course material itself. The quality of the course material is very nice, and it's very nicely written, and there are places where they have not given you the complete solution, and you have to go and research for it. And that leaves a lot of scope for self-learning and also self-improvement. And then the next part is the iLabs and cyber ranges that you get for practice. Those are again very amazing, especially the iLabs, because you get 6 months lab access, so you can play around with it as much as you want, and you can do whatever you want on iLabs and get your skills improved there. And the third is as I heard Kevin saying multiple times in his course and during the deep dive as well, it's like no other. There is really no comparison of CPNT with any of the certification programs that you would find in any of the other courses around the world. It has real life experience, and it has firewalls. It's not really just a flat network where you go and find few machines and just start hacking. It's not just about finding some flags. It's more than just finding flags and understanding how the different documents and other artifacts could be important for organizations, and how it can be very important piece of penetration testing. Lab experience is probably one of the best experiences of CPNT. The labs are completely accessible from browser. We don't need to have our own machine to practice on, and we don't need to have a Kali running on our own laptops to practice on the labs. Now this is a very good part, because It means that basically wherever you are and whenever you want to practice, you can always practice, and there's really no time limit to the labs. And there are a lot of labs. Even there are labs for scripting, various scriptings like PowerShell, Bash, Ruby, and all scripting. And there's even a refresher for CH, which is also very helpful. So one thing that CPNT has really taught me is understanding the network. Wireshark is a very important tool. I have always been using it for a long time. It was my favorite sniffing tool. You can use any other sniffing tool if you want to, but Wireshark being open source and being freely available on Linux, and Linux being one of my favorite things in this world, has been one of my favorite tools for sniffing. The other thing that is really very useful is understanding Nmap flags. So before CPNT, probably all I was ever doing was Nmap -sc, -sv, -oa, and the IP address. And this is what any tutorial on YouTube will tell you, or any blog post will show you, because that's the only thing that you ever need to do in any CTF. But CPNT taught me various other flags which are very useful in practical, have very practical value. So that has become my new favorite. So before CPNT also I was looking into security, but after CPNT I have a very different approach to looking at how to really do a penetration testing for the products that I have to, and also the overall security. I really have gotten more experience on what a real life penetration testing would really do, and hence when I am looking at the security of the products, I have a much broader thinking of what I should probably do in the testing, and what I should try to cover in the testing. CPNT is not it's not a good idea to compare CPNT with any other program out there today. CPNT is very different. All other programs concentrate on some areas of hacking and really only give you a lab kind of environment to learn, and also the exams are very similar to the labs, where you have to just deal with a lab kind of environment, and there are no real networks inside the exam. In today's world, you will never find that happening. Basically, any network that you go, even if there is a company with just 2 people and it's a startup, still you would have some amount of network segmentation. You will have firewalls, you will have antiviruses. So having exams without these in place is just, in my opinion, lab-like and not really a real-life example. So this is where CPNT really excels and has really a real-life kind of environment, and you will find all the real-life things that you would find in real networks. You will find active domains which are probably not accessible from outside. There is a proper network segmentation. You will find multiple networks, and it's really very different from all other certifications out there today. So CPNT, as I said, is very different, and cyber ranges that you get access for 1 month, and the iLabs that you get access for 6 months are really nice. You should start concentrating on creating your own notes since the beginning of when you start with CPNT, and you should have your own notes organized in the way that you would like to see them, and it would be really helpful to have your notes in front of you when you are giving the examination. And also ensure that you practice everything that you see in iLabs, and not just practice what is given in labs, but also beyond that. Not just practice it, but understand it, understand the methodology, understand the process. Do it enough number of times that it becomes your second nature, and you are able to do it even without thinking a second time about it. If you are very good with the methodology and the process that you have to follow, then you would turn out to be a good asset for any company going further, and also you will be able to crack CPENT with good marks.